Greetings, GISD community. This is Dr. Struhl with another Student Spotlight. Today, I have Mrs. Mary Gomulak with me, senior here at Gainesville High School. How you doing, Mary?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Well, first of all, thank you. I just want to say thank you for joining me this afternoon to engage in these questions and to be a participant within this interview. With that being said, let's jump into our questions.
Okay.
Tell us about yourself and your family.
I grew up on a small farm in Lindsay. I am in a family of 7, so I have 3 older brothers and 1 younger sister. And, I'm very involved in the community here at GHS and Gainesville.
Awesome. What about mom, dad?
Yeah, both of my parents are vets, and they're very good at what they do. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. How long have you been a student here in GISD?
I have been a student here since sophomore year.
Sophomore year. So you've been here for 3 years?
Yes, 3 years.
Okay. So, in those 3 years, you transferred to us from Lindsay, ISD. Is that correct?
Yes.
How has your experience been for you here in GISD?
It's been very positive. I've gained a lot of new friendships and relationships. And yeah, it's been a very positive experience.
Good. So what is the most memorable year, campus or teacher? Well, I say campus. You've only been on one campus here in GISD. What's been your most memorable moment, year, and teacher?
My most memorable year has definitely been this year because it's my senior year. It's the last time I'm being able to do all the high school stuff. And my favorite teacher is Mr. Freeman. He's a really good teacher, and he's taught me a lot of important life skills.
All right. So now let's talk about school. What has been the highlight of your high school experience, a specific event?
The highlight of my high school experience has been how far our volleyball team came this year and making it to playoffs. We fought really hard, and I think that was definitely a very positive highlight.
And I would agree. I mean, having, of course, seeing you play for the last 3 years and just seeing the development of the volleyball team over the years. Of course, you played a huge role in that. But to watch how the team has come together to play as a cohesive unit, it was a great thing to watch. So congratulations on a successful year, in my opinion. Although we didn't win the state championship, I'm all about progress. And I think that our volleyball program is definitely trending in the right direction. All right. So what has been your most challenging event here in your 3 years in high school?
My most challenging thing is keeping a balanced schedule, between extracurriculars and the day-to-day coursework. It gets kind of hard to keep up with it all, but yeah, I've done my best to keep a balanced schedule.
Speaking of extracurriculars, what extracurricular activities are you involved in?
I'm involved in varsity sports, 4-H, FFA, my local church group, and also I'm on county council and the youth board.
Okay. Very busy young lady.
Yes.
Okay. So now you're heavily involved in your extracurricular activities. Do you take any dual credit classes?
Yes, I take dual credit as well.
Okay. What classes are you taking?
This year I'm taking British literature and government and economics.
Okay. So over the last few years you've taken dual credit classes. Do you think that those classes have provided a benefit for you, the student?
Yes, I definitely think they've provided me with lots of benefits. They have challenged me as a student, and they've definitely improved my work ethic over the years.
So what advice would you give students to help them maximize their experience while they're in high school?
I think, get involved in your school and community and make friends. Keep up with your grades and study, but also make time for yourself and your friends to have fun.
Great advice. So now looking back, again, you've been with us for 3 years now, 2.5, working on 3 years. What advice, as you reflect back over your journey here in Gainesville ISD, what advice would you give yourself if you could go back and turn back the hands of time? What advice would you give yourself 3 years ago that you think will benefit you current day?
I think I would tell myself to cherish every moment because, everybody tells you that it'll be gone in the snap of your fingers, and I didn't believe them, but time really has flown by, and I wish that I had cherished those moments a little more.
Yeah, and the same holds true for college. When you leave us at the end of this year and you transition off to college, I'm telling you, you come in as a freshman, you don't know what you don't know. You're trying to find your way. You're going to blink your eyes and you're going to be a senior. You're going to be walking across that stage, and then you, depending upon what field you choose, then you get introduced to the real world. Okay, so now let's talk about your future. What are you going to miss most about being in high school?
I think I'm going to miss seeing my friends every day, my favorite teachers. I'll still stay connected with them, but it's not going to be an everyday thing like it is in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So on the flip side of that, now, as you think about it, and I don't know, I'm sure that you're starting to think about being halfway done with your high school career. Maybe I don't think about it as much, but I know you're probably thinking about college. What would college look like? So what are you looking forward to most about college?
I'm just looking forward to, diving into my future, getting a little bit more independent, really learning about what my future career entails.
Do you know where you want to go?
Yes, I plan on going to Texas A&M at College Station.
Okay. And study what?
I want to study veterinary science and major in animal sciences.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. My daughter's a vet med major at Texas Tech. So your plans are to attend Texas A&M in the fall. Why did you choose Texas A&M at College Station?
I know that they have really good veterinary science programs, and my brother went there as well, and I went and toured the campus. I just really love the environment and the people there. Everybody's really involved with agriculture, and I think it'll be a good college for me to develop my career.
Okay. Well, great plans, and it's always key to be prepared and know what you're trying to accomplish and what you want to do as you transition into that next phase of your life. So now, Mary, short-term goals. Do you have any short-term? What are your short-term goals as you prepare for this transition from Gainesville High School to Texas A&M University?
I plan to graduate high school, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And I also want to do a little bit of traveling in the summer before college, and then obviously go to my dream college, get set up there. Mm-hmm. That's about it.
So once you transition to Texas A&M, now let's think long term. You transition to Texas A&M, you go through your coursework, you graduate from Texas A&M. What is the long-term goal for yourself?
The long-term goal for me is to graduate with my doctorate in veterinary medicine. And I also really want to just travel the world and work with animals everywhere I go.
Well, Mary, there's no doubt in my mind that you'll achieve all the goals that you set forth. And I look forward to hearing the great things that you're going to do, as you build this next phase of life, as you enter this next phase of life. That formally concludes all the questions I have for you. I've asked you a lot of questions this morning, and I want to provide you with an opportunity to ask me any questions if you have any. So do you have any questions for me?
What is your biggest challenge as your role as superintendent?
It's a great question. The biggest challenge, the biggest challenge, and I'll give you a couple of examples. Biggest challenges in my role as a superintendent, number one is to always continue to look towards the future. One of the big components of my job is not only taking care of GISD currently, but also putting things in place that are going to last for the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the road. So always being a futuristic visionary, putting things into place that are going to help prepare our kids for jobs that don't even exist. Our world is changing, and it's changing at a rapid rate. You talk about things like artificial intelligence, and the list just goes on and on and on of items that, are out there, but we don't know the jobs that are associated with those. So to continue to provide innovative and realistic opportunities for our kids here in Gainesville ISD. Another big challenge is really keeping our parents connected to our schools. The natural tendency, and I'm a victim of it as well, or I'm guilty of it as well, is when our kids are little, our parents are very, very active and involved in our kids' schools. Well, for whatever reasons, as they get older, you start to see parents back away a little bit or not as involved. Unless, you have a child like yourself that's very active in extracurricular activities, athletics, fine arts, and et cetera. for me here in GISD, that continues to be a challenge for me, and a challenge that I'm up for the challenge on this one, and getting more of our parents to the table. As I said earlier in the first response, it's my job to put programs and plans in place for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Well, I want our parents to have a stake in that as well. I meet with our students to hear their thoughts, their recommendations, their ideas, but I also want to hear from my parents, because I'm a firm believer when you have the schools and the parents working together, I think that it sends a huge message to our students as far as the importance of education. And so those, Mary, I think would be my two biggest challenges as the superintendent of schools is, making sure that, being a visionary and looking towards the future. And that's not only just from a programmatic standpoint, but it's also looking at facilities and et cetera. But also, on the other hand, is getting our parents and our community more involved within our schools. Thank you for that question. GISD community, Mary Gomulak, senior here at Gainesville High School.